We have looked at lots of traditional tale books. We've looked at the Gingerbread Man. We've looked at Little Red Riding Hood and the Three Little Pigs. And today we're going to read the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And this is another traditional tale. And it's got three of something again. So we've had three little pigs. And now we've got three bears. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Let's have a look at the story. Once upon a time, there were three bears who all lived together in a little house in the forest. There was a great big daddy bear, a middle-sized mummy bear, and a little tiny baby bear. One morning, the three bears made a pot of porridge for their breakfast. But it was too hot to eat. Let's go for a walk in the forest, said Mummy Bear. When we get back, the porridge will have cooled. There they are. 1, 2, 3. Not long after the three bears had left, a little girl with golden hair came up to the house. Her name was Goldilocks. She knocked on the door 3 times. When no one answered, she tried the handle and to her surprise, the door was opened. Goldilocks walked in and went straight over to the table. "Oh, porridge, my favourite," she said. First, Goldilocks tasted the porridge in a great big bowl. "Ew, much too salty," she said. Then she tasted the porridge in the middle-sized bowl. "Oh, much too sweet," she said. Last of all, she tasted the porridge in the tiny baby bowl. Just right," said Goldilocks, and she ate it all up. Goldilocks felt very full, so she went into the sitting room where there were 3 chairs. First she sat on the great big chair. "Ow, much too hard," she said. Then she sat on the middle-sized chair. "Oh, much too soft," she said. Last of all, she sat on the tiny baby chair. Just right," sighed Goldilocks. But crack! The tiny baby chair broke into pieces and Goldilocks fell to the floor. Now Goldilocks felt tired. She went upstairs to the three bears' bedroom. First she lay down on the great big bed. "Oh, much too high," she said. Then she lay down on the middle-sized bed. "Oh, much too lumpy," she said. Last of all, she lay down on the tiny baby bed. Just right," said Goldilocks, and she went straight to sleep. And it's not even her house, is it? Soon the three bears came back from their walk. They were all very hungry. Daddy Bear looked at his great big bowl. "Who's been eating my porridge?" he said in a great big voice. Mummy Bear looked at her middle-sized bowl. "Who's been eating my porridge?" she said in a middle-sized voice. Then Baby Bear looked at his tiny baby bowl. "Who's been eating my porridge?" he cried in his tiny baby voice. "And has eaten it all up." Poor Baby Bear. The three bears went into the sitting room. Daddy Bear turned around to sit in his chair. "Who's been sitting in my chair?" he said in his great big voice. Mummy Bear looked at her chair. "Who's been sitting in my chair?" she said in her middle-sized voice. Then Baby Bear looked at his chair. "Who's been sitting in my chair?" he cried in his tiny baby voice. "And it's been broken all to bits." Poor Baby Bear. The three bears ran upstairs to look in their bedroom. "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" said Daddy Bear in a great big voice. "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" said Mummy Bear in her middle-sized voice. Then Baby Bear looked at his bed. "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" he cried in his tiny baby voice. And he's still there." Goldilocks woke up and was very frightened to see the three bears all looking down at her. She leapt out of bed, jumped straight out of the window and ran home as fast as she could. And the three bears never saw her again. And that's the end of that story. And that story doesn't really have a happily ever after, does it? It just ends when Goldilocks runs out into the woods. What do you think could happen next in that story? What might happen to Goldilocks? And what might the three bears do after Goldilocks has gone home? Have a little think about what could happen next.